Hi everybody, this is Janet Wright, and this video is going to help you to clear past life baggage from past life baggage you have from past lives, about spring cleaning, decluttering, organizing, and all about objects, owning objects, purchasing them, acquiring them, losing them, not having them when you need them, whatever. So it is part of the spring cleaning triplet set healings that I am doing May 2018, and so this will be the part 2 recap video for May 25th 2018, because I really did use this technique in the healing, the Friday healing that happened yesterday. So let's get started. Clearing past life baggage sounds a lot more complicated than it is. It's so simple to do. I wish everybody knew how to do it. But maybe if you give the video a thumbs up, everyone will not learn it, but more people will learn it. So that's a good thing. Okay, so past life baggage sounds like, whoa, past life baggage. It's just blocked energy that you didn't clear before the end of that lifetime. And so, it could be because you had a stressful situation and you just didn't fully clear everything. If you think about this life, you've had stressful situations, and when it's over, you just kind of move on to the next thing. And what that means is maybe it depends on the kind of person you are, what kind of self-healing practices you already have in place. But you could be, repressing maybe half of the baggage that got triggered during that time. And then it's just going to bug you again later. It's just going to get unrepressed and get in your way later when you have another similar situation. So that's what happens in past lives. We have situations that block us up a little bit and we just don't fully process it. And so then we just shove it down, and, your life then, comes to its natural conclusion, and you have to bring that forward to your next life, because technically it's learning, it's something that you haven't finished. But like I said, it's super easy. So it doesn't matter if you've been bringing it forward for 15 lifetimes now. It doesn't mean it's hard to clear at all. That's just sort of the wild thing about it, So the good thing is, when you do this kind of work, you're making this life better and easier, but you're also making your future lives better and easier, so yay. That's wonderful. Herbal tea. So what we're going to do is we're going to use timeline healing to make this happen. Okay. So in the healing, we did it 3 times. We sort of did 3 batches of energy blocks from various past lives. And I think sometimes I will intuit a little bit of information for you just for fun, but it's not important to intuit. The important thing really is to just clear the baggage, because then it benefits you as a spirit, and you move forward and you do learn, even if, you don't know like the nitty gritty, oh, I was male and blah, 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 this was the baggage and blah, blah, blah. It's really not that important. You as a spirit, you evolve. You're no longer stuck about it. You move forward. But anyway, okay. So, go ahead, close your eyes. Let's center ourselves first, because everything you do, you're going to do it way better. The more present you are, the more chakras you're in, the better flowing your grounding is, the more whole your aura is. So we're not going to fix everything before we get to work at all. But, so if you feel like your aura is particularly messed up and damaged, like if you're in a super crappy mood, do the Gold Energy Aura Buffer Zones video. Gold Energy Aura Buffer Zones video. Gold Energy Aura Buffer Zone. It's 18 minutes and it has aura repair and a good self-defense technique, okay? But right now, maybe just redo your Gold Energy Aura Buffer Zones if you already know what that is. If you don't know what it is, just ask your angels. Angels, can you please give me new gold buffer zones? Because your angels know. Okay. So, grounding looks like this. you know, I mean, you don't exactly look like that, but you know, it's a representation of what grounding looks like. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just recreate grounding and do a 1 color earth energy soak where you bring up red or orange or yellow earth energy all the way from the core of the earth all the way up and you soak in it. So we're gonna do that kind of fast just because I want to get us going and get us clearing past life energy blocks. But I want, you know, people to be as centered as possible too. So be aware of how wide your aura is. Mine is, you know, just off camera. And then you want to create your grounding as wide as your aura. So go ahead, just recreate it. You probably already have grounding, but you want to make sure it's really wide. So may as well just recreate it. It just takes a sec. And make it red or orange or yellow, whatever you feel intuitively would help you release the most during this exercise. I'm going to do red. And so it stays wide all the way down to the core of the earth, okay? Just like this drawing. You want it to be wide all the way down to there and just make sure it's fastened down there, you know, with your intuition. And it should be flowing downward. So you can just imagine, you know, maybe it flows like a waterfall, or maybe, you know, you just think about, I can let go, I can let go. You can just imagine little stresses, little energy blocks that, you know, are cramping you up, just, you know, let them drop down to the center of the earth, like little pebbles, you know, just let some things drop down to the core of the earth. And of course it'll absorb it and redistribute it wherever it belongs, all cleaned up. So just remind yourself you can let go, maybe another deep breath. So that's grounding, and you can have that all the time, okay? And then a 1 color earth energy soak is where you just use your grounding like a straw and you bring up earth energy from the core of the earth at the color that you chose. So I'm gonna stick with my red. So bring up red or orange or yellow earth energy all the way up, all the way up to the top of your aura. So the earth energy goes all the way up and you're soaking in it, right? So you're surrounded by it. Your whole aura is full of it now, and you're just using that as a calming soak, kind of like if you're in a forest and you're surrounded by a lot of earth energy, you just have your body, your shoulders relax, keep breathing deeply. Think about letting go. Okay, great. So let's do some past life clearing now. All right. So timeline healing is super simple. You just imagine a timeline, and you can kind of not focus on that too much even, you know, but it's just the starting thing you do is you just imagine a line, and, you know, one end of it is now and one end of it is, you know, earlier, you know, like, because we're doing past lives. So it's just to give you a little bit of a reference in case you care about, like, oh, which past life, you know, blah, blah, blah. But what we're going to do is we're just going to imagine 3 to 6 piles of uncleared baggage from these past lives that in the healing, it was specifically past lives that we cleared. I mean, you could do present life, but to be honest, most people, if they're stuck about objects and decluttering and organizing and all that, they might think it's from their childhood, but it's really from a past life, and that's why they manifested the kind of childhood that they did manifest, which is why they consciously think, oh, it's totally because of my childhood, you know. But so whatever. I mean, if you want, you can do some piles from this life as well, but make sure you're definitely, you know, try to focus on clearing a lot of past life baggage with these issues. Okay, but I'm just going to do just past life because that's what we did in the healing. That's what people really needed, these 80 people. So anyway, imagine 3 to 6 piles out in front of you that are healthy and gentle for you to clear right now of baggage. And the way this goes, I mean, you can do it any which way you want, but the way I do it is each pile is from a different time period. So typically from a totally different life. So if I just picked 6 piles, they're from 6 different lifetimes of mine, you know, and, you know, one could be from 20 lifetimes ago. I'm not really fixating on when. And the first step is you just bring up red earth energy and you soak all your 6 piles, you know, 3 to 6 piles in the red earth energy from the core of the earth. And that just, what it does is it connects each pile to the core of the earth. And it starts to help you pull out of each pile, which makes the experience a lot more simple and straightforward, and less overwhelming. And then you can go ahead and have your angels double check the piles just to make sure you're not over ambitious and clearing too much at once. So just say with your mind, angels, can you please double check my piles? My angels were like, good job, Janet. All right, cool. And then just use gold light from your, from your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras, okay? And just, or, gold suns or a gold hose or something, but just you want to surround the piles in gold light because you want to melt away any energy cords from you or from other people that are going into these piles. So just surround them with gold light. And then we're gonna melt them all, and we're gonna do it kind of fast, but in a gentle way. We're gonna move out of resistance. Okay, so rather you just kind of admit, okay, fine, part of me has been the glue that has been holding these piles of blocked energy in my space all these lifetimes. So rather than, I'm gonna sort of say hi to that part of me that was the glue, and I'm gonna talk that part of me into being the flow instead of the glue. Don't be the glue, be the flow. Don't be the glue, be the flow. So that worked for me. All my piles just cleared. But if your piles are like half cleared, just, just kind of talk to that part of you. Just be like, hey, I can relax. I can let go. I can be the flow. I don't have to be the glue. Basically, you're talking the resistant part of you, that's subconscious, into being non-resistant. And that is very powerful, but also really gentle, because non-resistance is like the best. It's like super centering, so that's why it feels so gentle. So if you have any leftover piles, you can just ask your angels to help you clear them. Okay, so let's do another batch. All right, so 3 to 6 piles out in front of you, and this one, we'll clear another like this, and then the third one, I'll do a little intuitive stuff on it, and you can too if you care. Okay, so, but let's just do one more batch of just clearing, get it out of the way. Okay, so 3 to 6 piles out in front of you of past life baggage that gets in the way of you spring cleaning or decluttering or organizing or anything with objects, like acquiring, owning, losing, giving away, not having objects, any object related baggage, physical objects. So 3 to 6 past lives worth of baggage, and just what's healthy and gentle for you to clear right now. Go ahead and, bring up red earth energy to soak your piles in red earth energy. So I have 6 piles and I'm soaking them in the red earth energy, and it's okay if you can't see your piles, just think it. Just, do it with your intention. So you know that they're there. You don't have to see that they're there. Seeing they're there and putting them there are 2 totally different functions. And the seeing usually comes much later for somebody. So, if you don't yet see, don't worry about it. Okay. But, by the way, July triplet sets are going to be all about seeing energy. So, typically I would recommend that people do both the July triplet sets because they kind of work well together. But, it's up to you. But anyway, that's just, I don't know if that's going to be every year. That's just this year, 2018, that I'm talking about. The July triplet sets are all about clairvoyance and seeing energy. But that's described on my website. You'll see. Anyway, so you just bring up the red earth energy and soak your piles, and then go ahead and ask your angels to double check these piles, just in case you're being a little too overambitious. Yeah, my angels removed a little bit from one of the piles, because you want to do what's healthy and gentle for you to clear right now, because you can always clear more later, today or tomorrow or the next day. Okay, good. And now go ahead and just gold light around the piles to melt away energy cords that may be going into the piles from you or from other people. Because sometimes that is really part of why, these haven't cleared, is just somebody was courting them, or somebody still is courting them. And that somebody could be you. So just gold light. And then go ahead, move out of resistance. Just acknowledge that, yeah, okay, maybe there's somebody else's cords, but but a part of you has been the glue holding all this in place, and you're gonna just ease out of that state. So instead of being the glue, you're gonna be the flow. Instead of being the glue, you're gonna be the flow. I can be the flow. I can be the flow. Yeah, so my pile's cleared. So if your piles didn't clear, maybe just take some deep breaths and try that again. You can pause the video. Just think about being the flow, or you could also just ask your angels to help you finish that up. Okay, so now we're going to do the one where it's just another batch, but we'll play a little bit with intuition with it. Okay, so 3 to 6 piles out in front of you of past life baggage. Any past life baggage that's in the way of you spring cleaning, decluttering, organizing, just regular daily cleaning even, and any object baggage, like acquiring objects, owning objects, losing objects, not having objects, giving away objects, all of the above. Okay, so just what's healthy and gentle for you to clear right now, 3 to 6 piles, and it could be 7 or 8, whatever, 10, because right now what we're gonna do, we'll have those piles out in front of us, and we're gonna bring up the red earth energy to soak them in red earth energy. And then we're going to ask our angels. Angels, can you double check these piles? Yeah. Because my angels liked that there were 10 piles, but they felt like 2 of the piles were a little too tall. Like I was being a little too ambitious and clearing a little too much from 2 different lives. So they just made 2 of the piles smaller, but the rest they really liked. So, whatever. 3 to 10 piles. Just have your angels double check them. That's the key step. Okay, so before we play intuitively with them, let's just melt cords, because that way you're less attached to them, everyone else is less attached to them, so it'd be easier to play little intuitive games with them to kind of read the piles. Okay, so no more cords going into the piles. So now just be aware of one of the piles, let's say, and just intuitively pick which one would be fun to read. And were you male or female? So that's just, it should come to you. If it doesn't come to you, you're probably just not centered enough. So, I know that's hard to learn. It's basically when you're not trying, that's when it works. So for me, I just kind of touched the pile a little bit, with my hand and run gold light through it. And it's like, was I male or female? And it just kind of comes to me. As soon as I finish saying it, it's like, was I male or female? Male. Sometimes I don't even have to, ask. It's just like male. It just comes right to me. Male. It's male. The more centered you are, the more intuition works. Intuition is sort of this harmonious working together of your 7th chakra, where you know things real fast, and your throat chakra, where you have clear inner thoughts and communication. Okay, so anyway, male or female, right? And then we know it was a past life, because all this is past life baggage. And then what happened in that life? Oh man. So what happens is sometimes, if you don't get like a story coming to you, then you can keep doing like yes or no. Was I an adult during this situation where I got all this baggage, or was I a kid? Was I married, or was I single during this time period? Was there a situation with a family member or somebody not a family member? So you just kind of ask yourself all these yes or no, kind of questions. Because that 2-choice, multiple choice kind of intuition is easier. But I already got the big story version, so I don't need to keep going like that. But so for me, just for fun, I'll tell you. Well, let me give you another second so you can just breathe and work on your own, because I don't want to distract you with my stuff. So deep breath and just, get a sense of that life, but don't go into it. You be here, you're you. You're just kind of opening a storybook kind of and looking at the storybook, but don't like jump into the storybook. Just be here. You're using your 6th maybe a little bit to see a vision. You're using your 5th and your 7th for intuition. You're staying grounded. Wiggle your toes, keep breathing. And you can pause if you want to work on your own intuition more with that life. So for me, you can pause the video, is what I meant. But I'm going to go and just read what my thing was. So for me, I was young and, but still an adult, you know, and I was male and I was single, and I had this windfall of money. Like, I did really good on this business deal, but it was kind of a chance thing that I did so well on this business deal. And so I got like a whole year's worth of earnings all at once. And I was not a very mature person yet, you know, and my parents and my, you know, uncle counseled me to save the money that I had just earned. And, you know, of course I didn't listen to them, and I spent it all on like these objects, you know, on like, I thought, well, you know, then I have all these objects that I, you know, I'm all set for my whole adult life, you know. So I bought things like, you know, winter gear, and I bought, you know, furniture, but like furniture that a person my age wouldn't necessarily own yet, you know, and I really bought like pretty high quality. Like, I had these artisans make it, you know, and rather than just, you know, getting the supplies and making something that was, you know, kind of more homemade. And so I got this sort of big ego about it, and I wanted to be showy and show off. And, there was this, it was summer and it was really hot, and there was a forest fire, and the whole thing burned down. Like, my home burned down. And so I lost my home and all my objects, my showy, impressive objects. And I didn't have any savings because I didn't listen to anybody. And so, it was pretty embarrassing. And, I ended up having to move back in with my parents, and it took me a while to, you know, to get my business going again, and then I, you know, I made a pretty modest living, so it took me about another year and a half to move out on my own, and then it was all, you know, very modest kind of accommodations, and so I just got this fear of losing things, you know, fear of losing objects, and also a fear of like, you know, spending on anything that was, you know, more substantial, because I you know, I kind of half learned the lesson that they were, everyone was trying to teach me, but in not the best way. Like, I got afraid now of losing things, and I got afraid of, you know, something happening to my possessions, you know? So anyway, it made me kind of, you know, less likely to, ironically, it sometimes has an opposite effect on you. Maybe still you're less likely to buy expensive things, but you maybe, you know, you can't organize what you have. It affects you in really irrational ways, the baggage. So anyway, just an example. So go ahead, let's clear all the baggage. That's what's important. So just run gold light through it, and just think about, I don't want to be the glow anymore. I want to be the flow. I'm just going to let all this go. I want to be the flow. There we go. It's all clear. So good job, guys. So that's what we did. Now, you know, the thing is about that, how that baggage could be affecting you in irrational ways. Because, you know, in that example I just read, people, like, I was afraid because I lost these expensive objects. So I learned in a way that it was wasteful to buy those expensive objects, but then I became phobic about buying expensive objects, you know, and then, but I think in this life, it was affecting me in not being able to properly organize what I do own, just because the fear just, it makes your mind do funny things and become avoidant and whatever. So, so what I was looking at was that in order to people to be able to organize what they own and to clean their homes and things like that, some people were just too blocked by old fears related to homes and objects and cleaning and, you know, all that stuff. So once people cleared the past life baggage, the more people cleared the past life baggage, the more they were able to bring in their own vision, which I was calling structured vision, of like, oh, okay, I want to organize those objects this way. I want to give that away. I want to do this differently, you know, and like, not that you have to do it all today, but you get a more concrete, practical bunch of ideas that come to you, as opposed to sort of an inaction with cleaning and organizing and, you know, how you're owning your objects and not owning them, maybe giving them away or whatever. Okay, so I hope that helps, and you can do this exercise as much as you want, whenever you want, because you're always having your angels double check. So so that's good. All right, so hope it helped, and I would love to hear your feedback below if you wish. So I guess that's it. And if you want to join me on the next video, which will be the part 3 video for May 25th, 2018, that will be to clear expectations. That will be good. That would be good for productivity and taking action with cleaning and organizing, but taking action just in productivity ways too. We'll clear expectations out of your space, and then we'll clear problem exhaustion. I think I'm going to be able to do that all in one video. Problem exhaustion is where you just get so blocked that, and you kind of get freaked out by some projects that you have to do, or problems that you have to solve, that then you kind of don't act on a lot of things that you should act on. So we're going to clear all that in the next video, which will be linked at the end. Okay, bye.